Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video, and welcome to my NFL 2017 Week 4 recap between the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots. Now, the Carolina Panthers were able to pick up the win 33-30 on a Gano go-ahead field goal at the end of regulation. Let's go ahead and get into the numbers. Starting with the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, 32 of 45, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. Not going to turn the ball over much. And he pretty much was engineering the comeback. He was able to, down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. He was able to tie the game back up. Defense, of course, let him down. But I think he definitely had a good game. The fourth quarter was, he's a comeback kid. I call him that. He's 4 years old, and I'm still calling him a kid. But that's what the guy does. In the fourth quarter, his team's never out of a game, and you saw that in this game. New England rushing: Michael Gillislee, 12 carries, 49 yards. Dion Lewis, 4 carries, 18, and a touchdown. James White, 1 carry for 7. Brandon Cooks, 1 carry for 4, and Tom Brady, 1 carry for 2. It's usually running back by committee. Gillislee he's going to be the guy who gets most of the carries. He's the power back. He's been really good around the goal line. Dion Lewis is another guy. He's a receiving back. I'd like to bring him out there on third down. Same with James White, who was integral to them winning a Super Bowl. But it's mostly running back by committee. They didn't run the ball a lot just because they ended up going down in that second half. So it required Brady threw the ball 45 times. And it's mostly going to be a passing team. You put the ball in the hands of your best player. That's Tom Brady. Seems pretty simple to me. But they're a team that they do like to mix it up. They didn't run it as much as I think they wanted to because of the score. New England receiving: Rob Gronkowski, 4 receptions, 80. Chris Hogan, 5 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown. James White, 10 receptions, 47. Danny Amendola, 6 receptions, 42, and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks, 3 receptions, 38. Philip Dorsett, 1 reception for 17. And James Devlin, 2 receptions for 14. Oh, last one. Dion Lewis, 1 reception for 9. When guy throws the ball 45 times, these guys gonna put up some numbers. Looking at New England defense, Malcolm Butler did have the pick, but he also gave up a couple touchdowns. I felt as though overall, secondary communication issues, big time penalties at the end of the game to really help the Panthers win. And up front, despite the issues with the Carolina Panthers offensive line, they weren't able to get consistent pressure. Yeah, they had 2 sacks. They weren't able to get consistent pressure. Kyle Van Noy, he had 1 sack. And Dante Hightower had 1 sack. Other than that, wasn't a lot of pressure. Trey Flowers, he did have 2 QB hits. But this defense, especially with that secondary, all the communications issues, that was a big surprise. Guys wide open in the end zone, screen passes where guys don't get touched for 30, 35 yards. Unless they, which they've been known to get off to bad starts, but they didn't look very good. And they haven't looked good these first 4 weeks. Each week they've given up a 300 yard passing game. Alex Smith, Drew Brees. I'm forgetting. Sean Watson, I'm sorry. And, of course, Cam looked like 2015 Cam. Easily his best game of the season. But they're going to have some improvements in that defense as the season goes on. But looking on the Carolina side, Cam Newton, 22 of 29, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The interception, he just threw the ball down the field. Malcolm Butler essentially ran the route. and got one of the easiest picks he'll get all season. But other than that, Cam Newton played great. He had, like I said, he had that one bad interception, but he was really accurate. He was running the ball, which I'm going to get into those numbers as well. But I thought this was easily his best game of the season, especially seeing as how that offense looked. He got time to throw the ball. Guys were getting open down the field. And, guy like Funches, he was making the tough catches. Kelvin Benjamin, who thought it wouldn't play, but he played well. He played good as well. But I'm going to get into those numbers. Carolina rushing. Jonathan Stewart, 14 carries, 68. Cam Newton, 8 carries for 44 and a touchdown. He broke some tackles. It was at the goal line. It was a really nice run. And I think this is how Cam should be used. You don't expect him to run a lot, but he has to be a part of the rushing attack. Yeah, you bring in McCaffrey to take away, that burden on Cam. But I think that's a part of who he is. He's not going to be a guy who, you want him to improve as a pocket passer. But I think running the ball is part of the Panthers offense. And it helps out Cam. It sounds weird when I say it helps a quarterback when he runs the ball. But that's just who he is. You saw the 2015 season. He ran the ball. And the offense really, that's what really helped the offense and why it was one of the higher scoring offenses in football. Because he was a part of the running game. But Christian McCaffrey, 6 carries, 16. Still got to find out how exactly they're going to use him. Jameer Byrd, 1 carry for 12. So a total of 29 carries, 140 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty much, 50-50. 29 pass attempts, 29 rushes. That's what they like to keep it. They don't want Cam dropping back too much. And they want to be a running football team who can really control the clock. Carolina receiving 4 receptions. Kelvin Benjamin, 4 receptions, 104 yards. Good game. Big chunks. He only had 4 receptions, but he did have 104 yards. He was a guy I didn't expect him to play. But I thought, despite not being 100%, he played well. Devin Funches, 7 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. He played well. This is a guy I've been talking really bad about, but he had a good game. Maybe because there's more pressure on him, because they knew Kelvin Benjamin wouldn't be 100%, so he was going to be a guy that was going to get majority of the targets. Of course, Greg Olsen's out, so that automatically moves him up. And I thought the pressure was good for him. He had a good game. Ed Dixon, 3 receptions, 62. Fozzie Whitaker, 3 receptions, 34, and a touchdown. That was on the screen pass where he went 30 yards without getting touched. 28 yards to be exact. But he went 28 yards without being touched. Christian McCaffrey, 4 receptions for 33. I think how they should use him, bring him out of the backfield as a receiver. Most of the time he's going to get matched up against a linebacker. Instead of putting him in the slot, which they can do, but instead of him being matched up with a slot corner who's going to be a better cover guy than a linebacker, bring him out of the backfield so a linebacker has to match up with him. Russell Shepard, 1 reception for 13. So, like I said, they kept it pretty balanced with the offense. 29 pass attempts, 29 rushes. And I thought guys were able to make plays. They wanted to be running back by committee. Cam Newton's a part of it. McCaffrey. And, of course, Jonathan Stewart's going to get a brunt of those carries. But at 14 carries, I like that for Jonathan Stewart because they used to run him a lot. 20-plus a game. And he'd get injured. Defensively, Luke Kuechly had 14 tackles. The guy was everywhere, man. He was everywhere. Shaq Thompson was also everywhere. But Julius Peppers, as old as he is, he had 2 sacks, 3 QB hits. He was able to get pressure on Tom Brady. Mario Addison was also able to do that before he got injured, so hopefully he'll be all right. But I thought early on in the game they were able to get pressure on Tom Brady. And it really helped out the secondary. That's really the only way you can slow down a guy like Tom Brady. You have to get pressure on him. You can't expect your secondary to cover forever because he's a guy, he's too accurate of a thrower. And that offense, they get guys in places to succeed. So your corners are not going to be able to cover those guys for extended periods of time. And you saw that's why the Patriots are able to move the ball. later on in the game as the pass rush really slowed down. But I felt as though early on, these guys played much better, especially coming off the horrific Saints game where Drew Brees was able to do whatever he wanted. So, definitely better. Secondary didn't, it really started to go south for them when the pass rush wasn't really working. A lot of boys in the zone. I hate when they went up 2 scores. They played soft coverage. Instead of getting up on them, they played soft coverage. Good quarterbacks are going to pick that apart. And you saw that's exactly what happened. So hopefully they don't get, I just don't like when you get that conservative. Go to what kept them out the end zone for the majority of the game. Press those corners. Bring more guys if you have to really get to Tom Brady. You saw when they were able to get to him, he had some very inaccurate throws. Just because of the pressure in his face, you were able to hit him, you were able to sack him. So hopefully they can keep up what they were doing in that first 3 quarters, moving on into next week. But of course we'll have to see. But I thought they played well outside of like the last 7 minutes of the game. But moving on to third down efficiency. Carolina Panthers 6 of 9, New England Patriots 7-14. So both teams did a pretty good job on third down. Time of possession. Carolina 28 minutes 53 seconds. New England Patriots 31 minutes 7. So it was pretty close. Carolina had 2 turnovers to the Patriots 0. One was a Cam Newton interception. The other was a Jonathan Stewart fumble. Total yards. Carolina with 444. Now, mind you, this team was 28th in total yards at about 278 or something like that coming into this game. And they were able to put up 444 in Foxboro against, I would say, a defense that they have the talent. There's just so many miscommunication issues and lack of pass rush. But this was an impressive win. Looking at penalties, Carolina had 1 penalty for 33, pass interference. New England had 7 penalties for 55. 2 of those penalties, well, 1 to be exact, was Stephon Gilmore hands to the face, back breaking. That was a back breaking penalty that pretty much helped Carolina win, as I mentioned earlier. But this was a great win. Yeah, I know people are going to be in the comment section. Yeah, you were talking bad about them. Yeah, I was, because they were playing bad. You can't sit there and tell me they weren't playing bad. They're 3-1 now. Easily their best win of the season. They were huge underdogs. The offense looked great. The defense played better than they did last week. Of course, they still have to improve. Secondary, you still got some young guys. There were some injuries. Kurt Coleman got injured. He hasn't really played well. Darryl Worley, who cares? He sucks. But they have to keep up what they did in this game offensively heading into the next game. Davin Funchess has to keep putting up these games, especially with Greg Olsen being out. Kelvin Benjamin still nicked up. Despite his good game, other guys are gonna have to step up. Christian McCaffrey, how are they gonna use him? They still have to find ways to use him. But I like what I saw from the offense. They look great. The New England side, I have nothing to say about offense. The offense was great. Tom Brady, end of the game, he's gonna make his plays. The running game, they weren't able to run it as much as they wanted to, just because of the score near the end of the game. But they usually running back by committee. The guys are mostly receiving backs, but they can make plays. I have no issue with what they were doing from offensive standpoint. Brady has been getting hit a lot this season, but he's the guy who gets rid of the ball quick. But he has been getting hit a lot. So offensive line does have some issues. Defensively is the problem. No pass rush. Secondary miscommunication issues, despite the talent. You got Stephon Gilmore, Malcolm Butler, you got Devin McCourty, you got Patrick Chung. These are guys who are experienced. He's not first year guys. These are guys who have played, a lot of games. They played playoff games. They've won Super Bowls on this team, and they looked like young players in this game with all the issues. So hopefully they can fix that heading on to the season. But I think I talked too long. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.